All right, let's get started. We're going to talk today about KubeQuery and Fleet. KubeQuery is an open source project, and we're going to be using that to get container telemetry, not from the inside the container. We're getting more so from data that's coming from the kube control binary. Normally you'd be using that to collect running telemetry off of pods and containers that are running within your infrastructure. And so what we want to do with KubeQuery and Fleet is we want to send some of that telemetry that you would normally get with kube control over to Fleet so that we can pipe it into a logging pipeline, just like you're doing with other server telemetry that's coming from your Fleet. So how are we going to do that, and what are we going to do? We are going to set the environment up. We're going to show you some of the custom config YAML files that we need to make some modifications to, as well as some of the built-in queries that are within our repo that you can use. And then we can drill into the Fleet UI and show how to live query your container environment, and maybe get a little fancy here with some JSON operators to drill into some of the nested data coming out of KubeQuery. So let us begin. First off, this is a sample query that I just executed. But before we get into the UI, I want to just really kind of focus on how to configure this. So first off, you want to go to our repo, the fleetdm/fleet repo. You want to go into Tools. You want to go into KubeQuery. And here you'll see a README file. The README file will point to this KubeQuery-fleet YAML file, as well as the KubeQuery repo itself. So you'd want to get both of these cloned over to your environment. First, let's dig into the YAML file here. And so some of the changes that you're going to be making here from the standard YAML is going to be in this section here in the config map. So you'd want to define your enroll secret, and the enroll secret is going to be coming from your team that you've just set up to run your queries within and have your host, your KubeQuery host show up. So in this particular case, you go to host to do that, and then add host. The enroll secret is just going to be this piece right here. So you'll be grabbing that. You'll be putting that into your KubeQuery-fleet YAML file. You'll also define the TLS host name that you're going to be running your Fleet server within, so whatever that is, as well as the fleet.pem value. You'll get the fleet.pem value from the same places you got the enroll secret. So you will grab that here in the advanced tab though, and you'll just download that fleet.pem. All right, and let's head back to the YAML. That is all the config. You'd want to drop that .pem here in your configuration, and then you'd be good to go. We'll go back into a level up, and we'll show you with your kube control binary. You'll just execute that with an apply command, and that will deploy kube control. So I did make some modifications to this README just to update y'all here. Let's see here. That is not this pull request, but let me just go up a level. We'll show some changes that we've just made. And so we've updated this README just to reflect that, so where to go to download the certificate. Also, we put in a YAML file with some sample queries that y'all can use with the fleet control apply command. That YAML file is right here. So that gives you quite a few queries to get started with your deployment. Only thing you might want to do is you might want to change the team name to reflect whatever team name you're using for your environment. So what does that look like in Fleet? So it just looks like this. Once you have it deployed, your KubeQuery host will show up with this syntax, KubeQuery dash whatever your container environment's called. You drill into this, and let's say we want to query that host. So let's take the first one, just API resources, and we'll live query this. Run that, and we get back all of the information that you would normally get with kubectl, but it's going to be parsed in a nice tabular format, except for you might want to see there's going to be a few things. Oh, this is coming back as a list object, but we can do some interesting things with some queries to get into more of like a JSON parsing syntax. So let's go ahead and get into some sample queries that would do that. Let's pick one here that I know that is configured correctly, like this one, pod conditions. So let's just filter based on pod. Getting the pod conditions. So you can see here when you run this, you get all of this nested JSON object stuff, which is kind of ugly. But if we wanted to see kind of how to drill into that, maybe we just want to get the initialized pods in that condition in order to look at that. So this is the result there. If we show how to get into that, that query, we can just use a where statement to filter out with JSON extract to extract those conditions for a filtered condition where the condition is initialized. So some interesting things we can do here, and feel free to grab the YAML file which contains these queries to get started. But yeah, that's really what we'd want to get into today, is just really kind of show how we can leverage Fleet in order to query your containerized environments. Thank you so much.